Good evening, everyone. I hope you've had a wonderful and joyful day. Hope you're enjoying all these ascension symptoms that have been going on. There's ups and downs and ins and outs. The transformation of ourselves via the love of this wonderful sunlight projecting its cosmic energies into our consciousness and into our bodies. It's funny, this morning when I was finished my working out and I'm showering and Master Jesus comes in, this is what you're going to do for tonight's letting go of the past. So he's explained everything to me. Hi, Alexandra. What we're going to be doing this evening on releasing old past blocks. And it was actually very simple and straightforward. We'll get to that as soon as a few more people come live. Hi, Bonnie. Wonderful. So tonight is the second installment on releasing past emotional blocks. And we're going to go over a couple of things shortly beforehand so that, hi Christopher, so that you understand what Master Jesus is expecting us to do during the meditation. It's very simple. It's utilizing both your body and your mind to release these old emotional blocks. And we're going to be collecting them from our past, literally collecting them, bringing them up and releasing them. It'll be a very simple, elegant process, and you'll know what it's done for you, because at the end of it, as it should be with any meditation you do, whenever you come out of a meditation, you should always be feeling slightly different or better than you were before. Your energy should be up a little bit more, feel a little clearer, a little more focused. That's how you know when you're doing your meditations properly. You always come out feeling higher energized if it's coming from you and your source, and you're bringing source through. But Master Jesus said tonight is about really pulling out the stuff from the subconscious mind, pulling it out from deep within you and bringing it forward. And we're going to talk about the specifics of what he had told me, the sequence of the emotions we'll be bringing out and releasing today from our past. He says that it's one thing to release the emotion, it's another thing to not pick it back up again. For many of you are in patterns that are connected to these emotions that have inclined you to think and act and do in very specific ways according to the nature of those emotions. And as you release them, you release the initial charge, but you will then be faced with the challenge of situations will present themselves where you will try to enact the old pattern, and it's your responsibility to refuse to do this. He's saying we'll be more detailed in a few minutes. Hi everybody, good to see you coming on. It's been a very fascinating day. Hi Carol, Carrie, Christopher, Bonnie. So let's talk a bit about what exactly does Master Jesus mean by pulling up all the old past emotions. What he said to me this morning, he said, you take a specific emotion that has been with you for a long time. He says most people are wisest to choose anger first. He says that's what most people are really dealing with. It is the expanded version of the lesser emotions of irritation and frustration. Anger is at the extreme end of irritation and frustration. They are all still based in fear, but we know that if you choose a specific emotion like anger, you can recall that very easily from your past, moments and situations and circumstances that made you angry or that you still have anger about. So he says what we're going to do is we're going to pull those up in the meditation. You're going to call on your anger and literally bring it up out of your body. Find out where it is in your body and bring it up, 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 up into your mind, and then literally release it with your breath. Really release it with your breath. Literally just exhale the anger away. And he said we're going to go on to the next emotion. After that, he said the next typical emotion people have after anger is guilt. And so you'll go inside and you'll review all the things that you think you feel guilty about, whether or not you believe you were not a good parent or a good friend or you betrayed somebody, but all of the guilt that you can recall from your body and bring that up into the mind and then release it with the breath. He says we will instruct you on that process, the actual bringing up and releasing of it. The third emotion that you'll be working on is self-doubt. That is fear of doing anything new and different outside of what you're familiar with. So all the fear that you can recall ever experiencing from moments where you chose not to do something and afterwards you went, I wish I had done that. Those moments of fear that stopped you from moving forward. He says, I want you to collect all of those things up and bring them up to be released. And then the fourth and final one will be shame, right? To bring shame up from your past, all the stuff from there, and to bring it up into here and release it. Remember, our bodies and minds are information storage and retrieval systems. We store everything in this mechanism. You know, how we walk, how we talk, how we feel. All of our emotions and behaviors get articulated through the forum. And he says very, very few people understand that what they need to learn to do is just let it all go. And he says it is simple as letting it go. But you must choose to let go anytime it arises afterwards. For the choice to release it does not mean that you will not have the opportunity to indulge in it again. But when you have that opportunity, your willingness to not indulge in it, to release yourself from it, to say, no, I will not express this anger. I will not allow this emotion to dominate my being or control my actions any further. This has been the biggest challenge for most people, not being able to say no to specific emotions that inhibit and restrict them. Yeah. And I know from personal experience what he talks about in terms of that. I mean, I went through a very angry teenage years and a very angry early adult life where I was self-destructive. I was destructive to others. I wasn't respectful of other people's property. I had just a lot of anger in me. And I did things that I'm not proud of, things that when I look back, I'm grateful for all those experiences because they've given me lots of growth. But at that time, I was not even aware that those expressions were right or wrong. I just was expressing what I was expressing. And my body was acting it out. And that's what happens. We get that our body begins to act things out for us. And then it remembers how to do that. And then it becomes a pattern. And once it's become a pattern, then it's a habit. And once it's a habit, you think it's a part of you. You think that's natural to be upset or frustrated or angry or disappointed or mistrustful. And he says that's not the case. You have to let go of all of that mistrust. You have to let go of all of that anger, all that guilt, all that shame, all that fear. It has to be released deliberately and intentionally, moment to moment. He's saying all of you will get ample opportunities to be mindful of when you are pushed to behave in your old fashion, to react in your old ways. You have the chance at those moments to deny that expression, to not allow that to be an expression of your being any further. It must be a choice. It cannot be done automatically. We can help you in moments of overwhelmment to release certain things, but we cannot make you make your choices. You must choose to release or choose to hold. It is your choice. It will be more apparent to you after this releasing process this evening of when those opportunities of annoyance and frustration and irritation or shame or guilt or anger, when those things are presented to you, when you are aware of them, you'll be more aware of them after this evening. And then you'll have a choice. No, I will not act from this guilt. I will not speak from this anger. I will not allow this shame to be a definition of who I am. I will not let my fear decide for me what I will or will not do. And your choices after a certain point in time will become simpler and easier. He says very easy. It gets very easy. There's a point in the process where you know the difference. You will re-educate your body and your mind to follow your instructions as you need it to. Cool. Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Susie. Eileen, Carrie, wonderful. So for those of you that have just joined us, there's going to be 4 primary emotions that Master Jesus spoke to this morning that we'll be releasing, drawing up out of our body and releasing from our body. And that will be anger, guilt, shame, and fear. And although all of these are interrelated, he says there's a specific difference in the quality and intensity of each. In the case, he says, in the case of anger, your energy goes out in a negative way from you to the world. It can also go into you as anger as well, which creates what you call guilt or shame For when you are angry at yourself, it is an attack upon yourself. And when you attack yourself, you feel guilty because yourself is really very pure. You don't have impurity in who you truly are, but it's your job now to release that from your system, which no longer belongs there. So there'll be, in the meditation process, we're going to be calling up those 4 primary emotions from within our bodies, drawing the anger, the guilt, the shame, and the fear up out of the body and bringing them to the mind and releasing them to spirit. Spirit knows how to repurpose that energy. You don't have to worry about it. It's a letting go process. It's like you can throw seeds on the ground, and some of those seeds will grow and some of those seeds won't grow, right? Okay, saying that's a bad analogy. He's saying when you release that, the spirit knows how to process. The natural energy knows how to transform these energies that you are releasing this evening. Do not worry about where they will go or what will happen. Suffice to trust that the spirit will change these for you. So that's essentially the process. That meditation is going to be done in about, he says it'll be 5-minute segments for each emotional quality that you're pulling out of your body. Because our emotions are memories, right? We store what we remember, we store in our body. And we can remove those from the body, the emotional charge. It's all you want to get rid of is the emotional charge from the body. You don't want to get rid of the memory. You want to keep the memory because there's information and experience there that has taught us things. We want to get rid of the emotional charge that's stored in the body, right? Like the way somebody will throw a ball at you and the way you catch it is very specific to how you learn to catch a ball. The way you eat your food or walk down the street or drive your car or dress yourself with your clothes is very specific and precise. You've trained your body to do those things, and there's certain feelings and thoughts that go with that training. And so what you want to do is release the old training from the body so that you can start to then input new information in the body. And the new information in the body will be started on Monday, where we're going to be doing some work with Metatron. That'll be scheduled in later this weekend. Where Metatron is going to help us to bring in new divine energies that will replace them. Now, okay. He's saying, Master Jesus is saying it's important you practice meditation at least 3 times over the course of the next 3 days. He's saying the reason for that is severalfold. 3 days is a process where you are intentionally working on something that you can literally remove something and bring something forward. That letting go of the old through the consistency of this application will make way for the new. It's as if you are purging the system, and on the next gathering there will be a replacement of 4 things to replace the 4 things that you remove. But he's saying at least 3 times between now and Sunday evening Eastern Standard Time. Practice meditation at least 3 times, just removing. He's saying there will be changes in your life, very important. And I know this to be true from my experience because I literally watch this happen every single day. Whenever I change or access information from the body that's been stored there from way back, whenever I access that information and release the emotional charge to it, there's always a corresponding change in the environment. So if you've got your evidence journals, and I hope you guys are tracking that, noticing that as you make changes inside yourself, as you connect more to your divine team, as you practice your meditations, being in the present moment, as you practice these meditations and gain the personal experience, you should see corresponding changes that match what's happening internally, externally. And when you recognize and see those things, please post them on the wall, share them with the group, so others can be encouraged and inspired by you as well. Like I said, the one thing we've been noticing here is everything around us is literally being remodeled and rebuilt and restructured. I'll take some pictures tomorrow and post them up on the group wall of the brand new intersection we have out there, of the They're repairing, literally rebuilding all the elevators in the building. All the condominium units around us have been working on it, on being literally gutted and rebuilt, completely renewed. When you renew yourself inside, the world around you reflects that. And the same thing is true with wealth or poverty, joy, sorrow, whatever state we're in, whatever experience we're in, it's because we got an emotional energy that matches that state within us. And when we remove that and replace it with something more effective, all of a sudden you find the world starts to change and people talk to you differently. They notice something differently about you as your energy goes up. So I hope you guys have been doing the releasing exercises of the week, of letting go of past blocks, as we did earlier in the week, walking you through that. Releasing them is really important. It gets simpler and simpler and simpler. You will notice changes in your physiology, right? That will correspond to some of these changes. I certainly notice them all the time now. I'm at this point now where I can actually feel, I'll say that a process of youthing going on inside my body. I feel a vitality emerging inside my body as I continue to work through more and more of this releasing and instilling, releasing and replacing, releasing and replacing. And that's what you're going to learn tonight, is that process of deliberately releasing a specific emotion from your system and replacing it with something next week. You want to get experience with releasing. Do the house cleaning first before you bring new furniture in. So we want you to clear up as much as you can between now and Monday. So let's if there's any questions about what we're doing, please let's post them on the wall, and I'll address your questions now. And yeah, or you can ask Master Jesus. He'll take questions from you too. Not too long. Just keep it reasonable. Okay. He knows I like to talk. Well, that's interesting, Carrie, that occurred. You'll be able to utilize that. Yes, you'll notice a change in the dream state too, because when you bring up, see, a lot of people when they get into old age and you see them really dysfunctional, their bodies are hunched over and they're shuffling along, right? Or their heads are hung down, or they got all kinds of aches and pains in their body. A lot of that is due to the fact that the body is not designed to store emotional energies of a negative nature for a prolonged period of time. It's meant to, as if you look at a child doesn't hold emotion. When it gets hurt, it cries, it's done. As we grew, we were trained to hold on to, don't feel that way, don't express your anger, you shouldn't speak to people that way. We were taught to hold emotion in, good and bad. And so you want to get to a place where you know how to release what does not serve you, so that it doesn't degrade your body over time. Like I said, if you're angry and frustrated and upset, your jaws will tighten, your hands will tighten. There's certain changes in your physiology, and those changes in your physiology match the energy that you're feeling in that moment, the anger, the frustration. And I find it funny, a lot of people, arthritis in the hands means limited movement, right? Because you can't move because it's painful. Well, what emotions are stored in there? There's certainly other elements, but emotional energy stored in the body always produces an effect in the body. So notice some of the changes in your body over the next few days too, because as you start to release these things, you're going to feel different things. Physically, you're going to start to feel different things emotionally. For me, I always felt clearer and clearer and clearer whenever I've done this. Yet you get clearer and clearer and clearer, and they're very specific about the intention. Make sure you make the time for yourself to do this. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Gillen. Wonderful. Okay. So we're going to get started now. So again, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing you inside your consciousness, inside the consciousness of the body, and we're going to have you pull out from the body everything that you can recall in the first part that's made you angry. And you're going to bring everything that's made you angry up into this area, and then you're going to release it from the body. And then the second thing you'll be doing is going after all the things that you feel guilty about. And you're going to draw all that up and out of the body and into here and release it. And then you're going to do the same thing with shame. And then you're going to do the same thing with fear. And those are the four that he said were the primary ones that virtually everybody that lives on this planet is ultimately dealing with, except those who have transcended that, he says. Those who have transcended. And there are many that are now transcending that. And you are some of those. Interesting. You are some of those now. So each one in its turn will be brought up and released from the body. The key thing, he's saying, the key thing is to be very mindful of the sensation that you feel in your body when you release that energy from the system. We will make certain that you're very aware of that sensation of release so that you understand the different qualities in your body when it is moving from one state into another deliberately by your focus, which is what you will be doing, deliberately moving energy from the body that no longer has a place in your life, nor will it serve you down the road. And we'll do that with each of the emotional states. So let's get centered in and take a slow, deep breath. And I recommend you drink some water first too. I hope all of you, when you are meditating, that you're drinking before your meditation and you drink after your meditation. Okay. There we go. I'll get to that afterwards. Okay, so everybody get centered in, relax, take a slow, deep breath. And then exhale and release the tension from your body. Breathe deeply. And exhale, release all tension from your body. Give your body permission to relax. And breathe deeply. And as you exhale, give your body permission to relax fully. Breathe deeply. And as you exhale, let all the muscles in your body relax. Give your body complete permission to relax. Continue allowing your body to relax. And move your awareness into your brain. And be aware of the energetic activity in your brain, the thoughts of the past, and present, and future. Be aware of the thoughts that are there. And breathe deeply. And as you exhale, exhale all the thoughts out of your mind. Breathe deeply again. And as you exhale, exhale all the thoughts out of your mind. And breathe deeply again. And as you exhale, move your awareness down into your heart. And feel the connection between your heart and your mind and your body. Just feel their connection. And breathe deeply. And as you exhale, let everything relax deeper. Now move your awareness into this space in the middle of your head. If there are any more thoughts or images there, just gently breathe in and exhale them away. Now we want you to call upon all memories of times you were angry and bring all of those moments of time and space up from your body. Breathe them up from your body into your mind. Allow yourself to notice what memories or images or events appear. Scan deep down into the body and draw any and all anger up into the space in the middle of your head. Just be aware of its shape, its form, and its sensation. And take a slow, deep breath. And as you exhale, exhale all of that out of your body. Sensing and feeling anywhere in your body or your mind where there is anger or memory of anger, breathe it up into the head. And as you exhale, release it from the body. Feel what your body feels when you release it. One more time. Draw any anger or memory of anger up from your body. Into this space in your head. And then exhale it out of the body. Now relax and feel how the body feels, releasing that energy. Notice the change in the sensations in your body. Notice the change in your feeling of awareness. one more time. Any remaining residual anger, even from the marrow of your bones, draw it up with your breath, out of the body, into the space in the middle of your head. And exhale it from the body. Let it go. Feel it leave. Notice the change in the energy of your body. Notice the different vibration in your body. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax the body more deeply. And just relax for a moment. Rest in this energy. Now breathe deeply. As you exhale, relax again. And now we want you to call upon anything that you think you've done or said wrong that made you feel guilty, or anything you were accused of that made you feel guilty. Sense or feel it throughout your body and draw it up with your breath into the space in the middle of your head. And as you exhale, release it. And again, move your awareness into the body, and anywhere you can sense or feel that past guilt in your body, breathe it up into the space in the middle of your head. And as you exhale, release it from your body. One more time, sense or feel any residue of guilt within the body. Breathe it up into the space in the middle of your head. And as you exhale, release it from the body. Notice the difference in the energy of your body. Notice the difference in the energy in your body. Breathe deeply. And as you exhale, go deeper. Any residual left anywhere in the body of guilt, draw it out, even from the marrow of the bones. Release it from the body. And go deeper. Now scan your body for any memories or past experiences connected to feeling ashamed. Sense them anywhere in your body. And then breathe in and draw that energy up into the space in the middle of your head. And as you exhale, release it from the body. And again, scan your body. Any place where you feel that energy in your body. And breathe it up into the space in the middle of your head. And as you exhale, release it from the body. Breathe deeply now. And as you exhale, feel the difference in the energy of your body. Feel the difference in the feeling energy of your awareness. Breathe deeply. And as you exhale, relax. Now sense or feel any fear that you have anywhere within your body. And breathe that fear up into the space in the middle of your head, out of the body, into the space in the middle of your head. And as you exhale, release that fear from your body. Breathe deeply, drawing any fear from any part of the body up out of the body into the space in the middle of your head. And as you exhale, release it from your body. Scan your body again, and breathe in and draw any remaining residual fear up from the body. And as you exhale, release it from the body. Breathe deeply. And as you exhale, relax. Let the body go deeper. Feel the difference in the energy of your body and in the feeling sense of your awareness. Now take a moment to sense the flow of life into your body that is beating your heart right now. Sense that energy in your heart, that life. And to that life, think or speak these words. I thank you for being the transformer of that which no longer serves me. I thank you for being the transformer of that which no longer serves me. I thank you for being the transformer of that which does not serve me. Feel how the energy responds to that statement. And breathe deeply. And as you exhale, let the energy of your body expand. Let the new feeling sensations expand. Breathe in. And as you exhale, allow these new feeling sensations to expand. And as you exhale, relax. Let your entire being relax now. Allow all the molecules in your body to feel this new energy. Feel how your body responds to the release. Be very mindful of how you feel at this moment. And very gently, take a slow, deep breath and bring yourself back into this present moment. And as you return to normal waking consciousness, it's very fascinating because as we heard the door knock, and Master Jesus just said in the background, he said, knock and the door shall be opened. And he's saying this is what this is. This opens a door to your more natural expression of being without all of those things in the way. You have opened the door. Um, now look at it, show me open. Have that. That was really cool. Can't plan these things. They unfold. It's wonderful. Now we got a couple of, we'll take some questions. We still have time. Eileen. Yes. Yes. So it's funny you identified that, Eileen, because this process is designed to that. Negative emotions have a negative impact on our physiology and on the world around us. He said some of you were concerned about releasing those energies out. He said, do not concern yourself, for the spirit was engaged to take it and remake it. It can take anything and make it into anything. That is not your concern. It is your primary purpose to realign yourself to the will of your Creator, that you may affect the expression of your creation as it was intended for you. He's saying that you'll find the difference in your physiology when you release those things. He's stressing that it's also important to use that statement at the end, which was, what was it again? I thank you for taking that which no longer serves me and transforming it. Taking that which no longer serves me and transforming it. Give thanks for that when you do that after the meditation. Like, follow it right through that process. Now, I don't know if there was a break in the process because I had to resume the communication. So if it is the essence of what needs to occur should all still be there, and we'll fill in any gaps that might remain in the next few minutes. So Eileen, like really, where you can feel where that shame is in your body, or the guilt, or the anger, or the fear, anytime you become aware of a negative emotion, it's stored in your body somewhere. At that moment, the moment you're aware of an emotion, that is the time when you can sense it, draw it up, out, and literally exhale it out. Literally, you can do that. And then not let your body act like it would act with that emotion. In other words, you wouldn't speak a certain way. Like, people that are angry tend to speak in a certain tone. People that are ashamed will have a certain physical demeanor. People that feel guilty will have a certain behavior. Every emotion is a corresponding behavior. So what you want to do when you release the emotion, also make certain that you don't reenact the behaviors that go with it, so that you don't retrain the body back into what you've just released. So the goal here is to go forward, not back. So be mindful of the behavior of the body too, and the tone of your voice. And there's other things that are connected to very specific emotions that all of us have in our own unique way. So start to correct that too. It'll be easier to identify it after tonight. He says that. It'll be easier to identify those emotions now that you're deliberately releasing them. Very few people get to the place where they deliberately want to release those things. They usually say things like, oh, I won't do that again, but they haven't released it. They've still got it in their heart. This is where you release it from your heart. You liberate yourself from that. You liberate your body from that. Fascinating. That's fascinating. Some of you having those dreams and stuff just prior to this process, that makes perfect sense to me, because I had a very unusual dream last night too that had me puzzled and perplexed. And he says that's just the normal course of events. We get you ready. You know, you're preparing yourself for this. This is not just some random thing. You've been preparing for this process so you can liberate yourself and perform the tasks that you came here to perform. Enable love's expression as you intended to enable love's expression, and no longer be encased in the worldview of who you are. Okay. Yeah. Jonathan, that's, let me tell you, experience I had with my stepfather my stepfather was a very highly physically, sexually, emotionally aggressive and abusive person. And for 7 years I endured his mistreatment of myself. And from that point, when I got thrown out of the house by him when I was 15, so I lived on the streets of Toronto for a year from age 15 to age 16, and during that period, I began to cultivate a lot of rage and anger towards him, because what I was feeling was what I attributed completely to him, and that anger drove me to alcohol and intensive drug use and criminal activity, and that went on until I hit around 20 years of age. And I stopped a lot of the bad behaviors, but I didn't stop the emotion. It wasn't until around age 25 when I was in this really enraged state, thinking if I ever saw him, I would kill him. I had that kind of thought in my mind back then. And the anger was just so intense. And then a voice came into my head and said, well, oh no, what I said is, I said, I wish I had had a real father, right? And a voice said, you did have a real father. And I said, what do you mean? And it said, look at all the things he did. He introduced you to reading and music and literature and art and philosophy. And he introduced you to a lot of things that you would never have been introduced to otherwise. And I went, my God, he was my father too. Even though he was a very poor version of one, there were all these other things I had completely ignored. All the good things he did. And in that moment, I suddenly realized how grateful I was for all of the things that he had taught me, that I had learned from him. And in that moment, I sent out a telepathic message to him. I said, I don't know where you are, but I want to thank you for giving me all of those things. And in that moment, all of the anger I had about him just was literally canceled out. In that moment of gratitude, in that moment of appreciation for what came from it for me, all the anger that drove me to like crazy stuff was just suddenly just vanished in that instant. And literally the next day, I get a phone call from him, and I hadn't heard from him for 10 years. I got kicked out at 15, and I was now 25. I hadn't heard from him since then. And I get this call from him, and he says, I'm sorry to bother you. We need to talk. I'll meet you anywhere you like. And when he called and I heard his voice, of course, all the fear I had then came up, right? I released the anger, and all this fear suddenly emerges. Now I remember shaking on the phone, but something inside me said, okay, I'll go see him. So we met in this place, and in the place, I was very, very crowded, very busy place, because I felt safer that way, because my anxiety was really intense. And I'm sitting there, and he comes in, and he sits down across from me, and I remember I felt this flame of anger for just a brief instant, and he looks me straight in the eyes, and he said, you know, I'm really sorry for what I did to you, but I can't change a damn thing. But I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that I think my behaviors impact you, and what we can do about that, what you can do for your life now. And we spent the next 9.5 hours talking, and for that 9.5 hours, he was literally like a father to me. And that was when I was 25. I'm 60, so that's since age 25. I've never seen from him or heard from him since that day. So I know that those of you tonight that really allowed yourself to pull those emotions up and release them, you're going to see some changes occur around you. You're going to feel different things in you, and you're going to see different things occur in the world around you. Whenever you release or let go of strong negative emotions, you make room for the opposite. So in the case of anger, you might find you're more patient. You know, in the case of shame, you might find yourself more appreciative. You know, you'll find the opposite. When you release a negative emotion, you'll find the opposite will come in to replace it. And that's how we learn to grow. But that's so I can understand encountering a person that you still feel a lot of charged emotions around, and being able to let that go, and having a process where you can actually just deal with the emotional component in yourself literally changes the way you'll interact with those beings. I hope that gives you a little insight there, Jonathan. Nothing happens in these courses, nothing happens by chance. You're going to meet people, circumstances, and events that are going to give you the opportunity to become more of you. And that is always the case, whether you're in these courses or not. Whether you're in another course, or you're taking Tony Robbins or anybody else, whatever you choose to do, life is constantly giving you the opportunity to be more of who you are, to express more of that dynamic, loving soul that you are, to be here. And that's the wonder of being here, is becoming that which you are. Okay, so I don't see any other questions or concerns, so I think we'll call it an evening. He's just saying, he wants me to say, don't waste time. Time is very important. You will understand that you will have much more time when you don't waste it now. He says that when you restore yourself to love, you will have unlimited time to be and do that which you delight in being and doing. You are love's extension, and you are able to extend that to others as well. Love is ultimately the goal of your being. Much love. Thank you, brother. So anyway, thank you everybody for showing up this evening. I hope the meditation was translated properly, again, because the little message we got with the knock on the door. Remember, knock and the door shall be opened. I love that. He's got a sense of humor. Okay, everybody take care. If you got any questions, concerns, or comments, just leave them in the box. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Bye for now.